What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Throw Show in season 4? Three. This is a packed house. We're going to try and breeze through the front end, and we got some surprises for you on the back end. Let's start off right away. 70-25 from Val Allman. Absolutely phenomenal technique. I also want to say I really like the edit on this video. Mm-hmm. And one thing I wanted to point out is you can see how she, fourth year in a row over 70 meters. That's awesome. Watch her left leg, how it grounds at the front here. It's fast, and it's like that knee is forward while she stays back over that right side. That's huge.
Left foot stays low. Heel gets down at the finish.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think she has 7 of the top 10 American throws of all time, something crazy like that. So huge throw, first meet of the year. Oh, this throw was a clutch throw too from Urinde. She does the same exact thing with that left too. 67.05. Jaime had passed her on round 6, I think it was, and then Urinde came back and slammed this 67-meter throw.
Yeah, that's massive. Second farthest throw for her.
Wait, NCAA lead by 6 meters? What? I like that position in the middle.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Jeez.
Got just 2 massive well, I guess in the men's side, not that big of a, not 6 meters, but still a pretty substantial lead.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that as well.
And that brings Jaime, which I actually think Jaime's technique was a little better in our home meet where she threw, I want to say it was like 66.50 or something, but there was like 0 wind. Now, I don't know how much wind was there, but I think she's still over-rotating a little bit with that right leg. If she can get that right side down a little bit earlier.
She seems to be like, just from what you were telling me, like pretty, like very tuned into her technique and very critical of herself as well after some of these meets with how she's been moving.
Yeah. I mean, she didn't, I wanted her to go to Oklahoma this weekend. Mm-hmm. And she was like, no, I'm not going there. My technique's not good enough. So the next meet she's going to do is in Maryland, the Maryland meet.
Mm-hmm. When's that?
May 6th, I think.
Okay.
Rudy Winkler will be throwing there.
All right. Yeah, I mean, but so far two meets in the 66-meter range.
Yep. Pretty big.
Yeah, definitely. And that's
number 3 in the world.
Yeah, that's very big.
CC going huge, 64.96. We should have saved this for later. So this throw, PR, breaks the Nigerian record, breaks the African record by, I want to say, like 15 centimeters. So it's a continental record. Qualifies her all in with the for world championships, which based off of her world ranking, I don't think that would have been an issue anyway. But just a huge throw. And then this put her, she's number 5 in the world right now. So Val, Urinde, Jaime, and then Bin Fang is number 4, and then Cece. So we got Jaime and Cece in the top 5 for the women's discus.
That's massive.
Which is great. And I think Cece too, it's like she actually just got a new program today, and I think she's just going to keep building on that. And I think she's really going to train pretty hard all the way up through Tucson, so she'll have a good training block.
Her technique is looking very, very good.
Yeah, way better. She's more consistent on the finish.
I just even think like just her technical development over the last few years, like, you know, looking 3 years ago to now, I think is just incredible, and she moves extremely, extremely well.
Mm-hmm. She's still missing, she still has a little bit where she sends it down the right side a little early. It's like she's almost like antsy on the finish. Mm-hmm. And she's still trying to iron that out, but it's getting really close to being consistent through the finish, through the front.
Yeah. Man, African record.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible. Yeah, congrats, CC.
And then that takes us to, who is this? This is, Julia Tunks, 16 years old, throwing 59.11. Then I was thinking about, how old's the girl from the U.S.? It just went like 191. Because, I mean, that's got to be close, too. So these two girls are just bombing throws.
So I found out that other girl actually competes for Sweden.
Oh, she's Swedish. No kidding.
Yeah, she's under 20 world champ, apparently.
Oh, wow. And we don't know about
All
her.
right.
Why are we so bad?
But she is in American high school.
Okay.
But still, two girls under the age of 18 going 190 plus
Yeah.
is pretty insane.
Jason Tunk's daughter, who used to compete against Adam Setliff, and Adam Setliff is the coach of the other high school girl.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's massive. 16 years old, man. Yeah, there's just all over these young throwers coming up. It's going to be a massive, like,
I just keep thinking about it. It's like 5 years ago, Krauser was like on the come up, like 2016. I mean, I guess that was longer than 5 years ago. Geez, 7 years, 8 years almost. But it's like that movement essentially since that year, it's like everybody who, think about her. She was 10, 11 years old when these guys were really blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
The next wave, from basically the 16 years old all the way down to like 10 years old, it's going to be commonplace to throw 23 meters, to throw 60 meters for women. And it's like, how many are we going to see in 5 to 10 years?
Yeah. Do you think a 59-meter throw is ever going to be like, yeah, that was all right?
Part of me hopes
From a
not.
16-year-old?
Yeah, part of me hopes not, because this is so good.
I know, yeah.
But then part of me is also like, that'd be crazy. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I do not think that will be the case.
Yeah.
I think this is an absolutely fantastic throw.
Yeah. This is the Greek dude. Dimitrios Pavlidis. Dimitrios Pavlidis is, I believe, his name. And I want to say that this was I think he PR'd by like 2 meters or 2.5 meters, something like that. And this was another one, a Greek national record, 64.90. And I think he's a freshman too. I don't think he's that old. So they've got Rhodey's kid coming in next year.
Okay.
I think they had 2 dudes throw over 60 in the discus. So they're going to be, they're going to be stacked. And I will also say, I think they just got, why can't I think of the coach's name from Florida State who was Doug Reynolds? I think Doug Reynolds is coaching there now. I think. I almost want to fact check that, but I'm pretty sure he's there now. And their uniforms are sick.
Bonus.
Yeah. Like that powder blue.
Yeah, that's big though. Greek national record. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then we get to, I said Roja Stona earlier when we were talking off air. This is Ralford Mullings. This is a toss. 62. Roja's in the next video, I think. Sorry, I'm giving all this away. 62.79. So Ralford Mullings going 62.79. I want to say he's 19 or 20. It's like, dude, it's just crazy because it goes back to what you were talking trash to me about on off air.
Yeah.
Where you brought up.
Last time I said, are there going to be more 60-meter discus throwers or 20-meter shot putters?
putters.
And right now there's like 3 times as many. So.
You just stare at me. Yeah, that's a good toss.
Yeah.
Okay, so this brings up. So I don't know who this kid is. It's Tyler Dandom. Is that? I mean, I don't know if that's his actual.
No, this is Roja. What?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just his
handle.
His handle.
Okay. All right, so this brings up Roja Stona. And you see how he stays down for a while? Like he falls in a hair out of the back, but watch his finish. He just like comes through real well into his left side. Like, dude, this is 66, 64. He's
incredible.
young, dude. He's really young. He and Ralford are the same age. And I think Ralford was at Arizona State. And I think Roja was at Clemson. Now they're both at Arkansas. And they're just absolute animals in training with Jordan West. Jeez, he sends that thing to
Yeah.
the moon, dude. That's crazy. I want to say he almost beat Okoye, or he did beat Okoye in this comp. So that meet was sick because that's where Alekna had a huge foul and went 68.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my favorite throw from the weekend. This is my favorite non-GS throw from the weekend. Josie Schaefer going freaking huge, 1898. And I think there's multiple reasons, but yeah, that's the main reason. One, technique-wise. Two, she sets it up so well. And then three, she just knew as soon as it comes off her hand, boom.
He lays into that finish.
Yeah, that's huge. Wow. She had a really good indoor season, so it's like, dude, she's another one that I think could be someone that could really push heading into the outdoor or the rest of outdoors for the NCAA title. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude,
yeah,
this throw would have been third place on the team to go to the Olympics. So it's like,
right,
that's how good the NCAA is right now. Okay, Jordan Geis. I think Jordan has a record for the number of times being on the throw show, 21, 25. Just slamming that finish, coming around, and just
even his reverse is fast.
Yeah.
See how fast he whips his left leg around.
Yeah. Boom. Yeah, he looks good there.
I think it's just one of those things you just can't, even though we want to, you can't take 21-meter throws for granted. 21 meters is so far.
And you have to move that fast.
Right. And it's just how many times has Jordan thrown it as a collegiate thrower? It's just, it's impressive.
Yeah. Here's Tyler Williams representing Garage Strength. Goes 74 meters at the Princeton comp.
74 meters, man.
74.29.
I mean, he's adding a meter or more per week now.
He just sent me a video from yesterday and just says, dude, 16 pound. Just kills. And this meet was stacked too. This meet was a big meet. I mean, this is where Rudy opened up. So I think Rudy opened up 77.90.
Yeah.
So great job, Tyler. Can't wait to see what happens at Natty's U.S. Nationals. That's the auto
it's just
qualifier.
Just keep turning it on.
And the rust has been busted by Rudy Winkler, 77.87. Jeez, I didn't even think there was that many huge throws, and now we're on throw 30. Rudy coming out. That's one of my favorite jerseys there. I love that jersey. Oh yeah, that's great. What's Rudy throw at the end of the year? Can he go back over 82?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
He goes to Norway, and the Norwegian's there, so I'm excited to see how he competes there. Tamam with the latest left in the game on this throw. I'm calling you out on the throw show. Gets wide, falls in, late left. Tamam.
Latest left on a 20-meter throw.
Yeah. And he's mad. Dog, come on. But still, 2002, open the outdoor season. Him and Eric both,
that's
I think,
big.
Yeah. And that's the thing. We've been working on a lot of stuff with him coming out of the back, and some of it came together, some of it didn't. But one thing I will say with Taman is he's got the ability that even when he's working through technique, he's still able to hold together that high intensity throw and still hit something big. Mm-hmm. A lot of people lose that feeling when they're doing a lot of technique work, so it's good that you can do that.
Yeah, good work.
You got to fix that left, Taman, though. Now, Frick comes in, 2014. He's a little erratic during this series, but still pieced together. I think this is his 10th comp over 20 meters for him, which is big. 10th meet over 20 meters. 2014. Again,
He's almost a little the same.
Yeah.
That right's just floating a little bit.
Yep.
A little open.
I think that's the same thing, too. He falls in with that. He falls in with the right hip a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then he drops his chest a little in the middle. And then that raises that right foot. And then they're almost a little forward when the right comes down because it's so late.
Yeah. But, man, 20-meter throws, though, make them, every meet sort of thing. Why not?
Yep. And then that takes us back to Alekna, going with his season best, 68-39. NCAA lead.
Man.
Yeah, this is big.
Now, apparently he toe fouled, what was it, at
71, I think, yeah. Which is not surprising at all.
No. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
think
tore in
he's
that.
I think he's honestly one of the, one of those throwers that I'm like on edge, like waiting
Yeah.
to just hear some absurd
73,
number come out. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting watching him
I don't know if he is getting bigger, but he does look a little bit thicker. That could be me making this up in my head, but he does look a little bigger.
How much bigger did you get from 19 to 23?
I got a lot bigger. I got a lot fatter though, and I also was drinking a lot more than he probably is.
I'm just thinking about like where I was at 19 and like beginning of college, end of college, and
Yeah.
you
blew
completely
up.
different person. And
Yeah.
if he does anything close to what most, how most throwers just develop as they become like men,
Yeah,
like
it's gonna be scary.
yeah,
Ooh, Josh Sarachin,
this is big.
66-21. I think he's number 9 or number 10 in the world. I thought this was his best left leg to the front. Real fast with that left leg. Sets it up pretty well. Sinks a little bit, but still sets it up pretty well.
Just rockets that out.
Yep. There's a couple things too coming off this that I think he can clean up even to help that finish. I think that's what's cool. It's like Josh, Sam, I mean everybody's now just starting to feel like, okay, we can do this. And what's wild is now they're here and they're like, oh, I can make that next technical correction, and they have more confidence in their base movement.
Mm-hmm.
So their base movement is stronger and they feel like it's easier to make that technical correction. And I think that's just the confidence of thousands and thousands of reps and knowing what they need to accomplish, really.
Yeah.
Huge performance, though. I think that's number 2 right now in the U.S., so that's good as well. So that brings us to the number 1 thrower in the U.S. right now in the discus, men's discus, Sam Mattis. Season opener, 67-49. Again, we just talked about this with Josh, and we're going to talk about it with Alex, where it's like, and Cece and Jaime, all of them. You had mentioned this earlier. It's like he, opened 67-49, huge opener, and he's like, dude, I'm still falling in. I'm still lowering my left shoulder and the back. I'm still dumping my chest past my right knee, and then the left's slightly late, and I'm not sitting through into that left heel as well as I could. So it's interesting seeing that, the confidence of that, and then after Alex's throw this weekend, now Sam's like major goal outside of wanting a medal, wanting to continue what he's doing, but world championships medal or Olympic medal, something like that is his main goal.
Yeah.
And then his ancillary goal is researching Ben Plunkett and his career and trying to break the American record. What is the American record? Because no one actually really knows if it's 72 or 71. It's crazy. And that's like all he's been talking about the last 2 days.
Just serve 73,
Yeah. I think he's salty that Alex took his garage strength record. Jason gave him a little back rub earlier to help him feel better about it.
Appreciate it.
Still, this is a massive opener.
Yeah, it's huge.
I think
So we have 4 throwers over 66, 5 over 64.90. That's crazy.
yeah. And 4 or men's and women's 2 in the top 5 in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, so Alex is number 1 in the world. Sam's number
With this throw,
3 or 4.
69-41, got him the world lead.
Yeah, I think this is where you can see he sort of falls off on this. He falls in a hair, he's a little long to the front, rips out on the finish quite a bit. Somebody commented, doesn't this guy have a full-time job? And that's the whole thing. Like, people, it's crazy. And a newborn, 5-month-old. So he sent me this throw, and I was like, all right, dude, I think you can throw 70 tomorrow if you clean some stuff up. And did an analysis, which I think we should use and post somewhere. And then he's like, dude, I can make those corrections. I can fix that.
Mm-hmm.
throws like 67 once or twice, and then round 5 is when he threw his big one, his current world lead, and Oceania. And this was even the Oceania record. Broke Ben Haradine's Oceania record. Now we'll see what Matty Denny will have something to say about this, I'm sure. And he's top 2 or 3 best discus throwers in the world, so he's going to have something to say chasing Alex. But Alex is still, I think, chasing Matty.
I think just like watch here. It's like watch how he falls off he falls off to the side. The disc goes this way. And now the next day.
Yeah, so this was Sunday.
His 70-meter throw.
Boom. Yeah. He loads around his left a lot better out of the back. This is the throw that reminds me the most of his 65-23 indoor mark. That's also the furthest indoor throw ever on American soil by a clean athlete who didn't get popped in the 2000s. It's like the exact same throw. It's just like over his left, down, hold. And I say this, so I did analysis of this throw, of his 70-meter throw, and I talked about how Alex probably 3 months ago was like, yo, what do you think Jaime does that I could do? And I know that, and he's like, I know the women's discus is really different, but she's better than me. What can I do? And I was like, dude, I think the biggest thing that she does is when she gets to the middle, she does have a high point, and that creates more of a stretch in her gut and her pec. And then when, somebody like Alex, if he can hit that right to the center and get a little bit more of a high point, and I've never coached that ever before, but I started to think about it a little bit more. And I watched Che and I watched Canner, and I in the past I've talked to Stahl and Veston about that, and he has coached that. I've heard him coach it last year in Iceland, and so I just said, I was like, dude, she has a high point, and I'm starting to think that could be something. And I think Joshua is going to benefit from that, and that you can see on this throw in the middle with his right hand in the middle, and he said he feels like that helped him. One, catch it deeper, but feel his left leg coming around. So then his left leg could get to the front a bit more. And we talked about this with Val's first throw on the podcast. Her left knee and how the left knee lands, and his left knee is very similar where it lands to the sector. Mm-hmm. So I think that's it's just cool. First 70-meter thrower out of Oceania. First 70-meter thrower from Garage Strength.
Right. That's massive. Why don't we get our special guest on?
Oh, so we gotta call him. Hello, Alex. This is Dane, your representative from Verizon. I need your social security number.
Oh yeah, not a problem.
How you doing?
Yo, Alex, congrats, man.
What did you just say? 69 41 70 39.
Who knows what it is? What's up, Trevor?
What's up, man? Congrats.
Thanks, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like the most humbling thing in the world to throw 70 meters, and then the next day, like, I log into work and talk to people who have no idea, like, what I did.
Yeah. You weren't just telling people, telling your clients?
Yeah, seriously. Some of them, like, texted me and stuff, but, it's business as usual otherwise.
Alecki doesn't care. He just wants you to change his diaper.
Yeah, seriously. She seriously does not. Yeah,
so
it's awesome though.
Walk us through like maybe the series, but like what kind of corrections you made and how it felt, as you built into everything, and then maybe even just walk us through that slow-mo feeling and what you were thinking about during the throw.
Yeah, so I mean, man, the week prior I'd been struggling with, like, I've been trying to focus on my orbit because I traditionally haven't had a good orbit like ever, and just trying to sit on the finish and spin the disc a little bit better, as opposed to just throwing it as fast as I can, very low off the ground. And so the week prior, I was falling off of the disc, and it still was going like 65, 60 or something was my best. And I was like, man, if I can just sit on a finish, it's going to add meters. And then, I couple that with the best conditions I've ever seen, and then it goes 70. So it was crazy, man. I finally lined one up, and I sat on it on the finish. I threw it straight and higher than normal, and it just shot up. Like, it shot up in the air, like which never happens for me. You know, it went straight and it went high, and I was just watching it. Like, this thing just kept going and going and going, and I was like in awe when it landed. I was like, holy shit, I've never seen a disc land that far away from me.
And that was the day after you threw 69.
Yeah, it was. Jeez, man.
How do you think you came off of that? That's a question I had, was like, you know, after a day of just ripping, you know, a huge PR and then coming out, and I wanted to say too, I remember, I think we'd even talked about this in the past, where it was like, you know, your prior PR, you were a little blocked off on that throw. You were like, yeah, I just yelled a little bit more, and now I think you're lining everything up a lot cleaner. And I guess what I want to know is, like, okay, you hit that 69 with better technique and better than your throw at Triton, but still not the best that you could be. How do you handle the high of throwing that 69 and saying, like, all right, I think I could throw 70, and then do it? You know, how do you handle that?
So it's weird. We all talked about this because Josh had a huge PR, I PR'd, and CC PR'd the day prior. So we had so much adrenaline on Saturday after that, and we woke up Sunday, and all three of us were like, dude, I am so dead. I feel like I got hit by a bus. I feel awful physically and mentally, and I can't even think. Like, they walked upstairs in the hotel, and I was trying to get in the wrong hotel room, the wrong room on my floor, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, my keys broke. They're like, dude, this isn't even close. You're like 10 rooms away. I wasn't even in the right, like, wing. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I couldn't even think. Like, but that's kind of how we all were. And then I think what we had to do is just focus on technical cues and, like, not try to, like, just crush it the next day. And I think that was actually advantageous because I was forced to make that adjustment versus being so stoked and just having all this energy. I didn't feel like I had that much, but then the technique just brought it.
I was just gonna say, when we're watching this on repeat, basically on the screen, and I'm like seeing, as you open, you do a real good job, like, opening with the left side while still being patient with the right pickup. And it's like, dude, I feel like you pointed this out in like 2017, like how all the Germans would, you know, Harding would open past that sort of 180 before pickup. And I feel like you've executed that well for most of your career, but even in this throw, you can see it, like, open, pick up, down. And it's like, is that, you know, I'm almost thinking that lengthening of that left side and then that almost like recoil from that high point with the right in the middle. Did you feel anything like that in the throw, or was it more like afterwards where you're like looking at it like, oh yeah, I did feel that, or I did notice that?
So I 100% agree. I saw the same thing, and I think that's just a product of being loose. Like, if you think about that technical movement, even for me, like opening past 180 and you know, then getting the right foot up and sweeping in the middle, it doesn't really help as much as just thinking, okay, stay patient and loose. Like, turn your left leg, open up, and just wait till you feel that tension, and then the leg just picks up, as opposed to intentionally moving it, you know?
Yeah, it's almost more it's more like abstract almost, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it only happens when I feel very, very loose and relaxed.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I also think, you know, knowing your cues, that's like a great cue for you, is like, you know, being balanced. And like, remember last year, it was like, dude, if I'm balanced over my left and I'm balanced over my right, and then I can stay balanced over my left in the finish, I can, you know, make the world final. And it's almost like the exact same thing here, coupled with being loose.
Oh, 100%. And I think the next level of that is like, okay, if you're balanced and you're loose and you're doing all these things, then you can start turning up the finish. And I actually I've been looking at Sam's finish a lot lately, because I feel like he has this incredible ability to just, like, on demand, turn up the finish when he wants to or when he's feeling it. And I think that's because he's so balanced and loose, like, through, and consistently balanced and loose every single throw, that he knows he's going to land balanced, so he can just turn on that thing, like, on command.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. It's like you watch Sam warm up and you're like, He's thrown 60, 61 in warm-ups.
Yeah, dude.
And then it's like first throw 65. You're like, wait, where did that come from?
Dude, I know. He doesn't like when I think throw in practice, I'm pretty much doing the same throw that I'll throw in the meet, just a little bit less. But for him, it's like the same across, and then he just like kind of lets it go, like by trying to hit the position at the front. He's never trying to turn on it. So,
right.
It's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's crazy. It's huge. What does it feel like going on World Athletics and seeing your name at the top of the list?
Dude, it feels fucking crazy. It's so weird. It's like with the week that I had to, like, it's just like no one will ever understand. Like, dude, I was in a classroom watching 300 slides of PowerPoint every day for the 5 days prior. I had to Uber to one practice where I threw like shit. And then that was it. And then I'm like, all right, let's fucking go to Oklahoma, see what happens. And then I just felt incredible there. Like, my legs felt incredible for some reason. I have no idea why, but it was just the moment.
Walk us through your last lift, the 30-minute lift.
So that was, I think this was Wednesday. So I did 2 days of the PowerPoint stuff for training. And then I had a work dinner. So I had like a mandatory work dinner type deal. And I had legitimately 25 minutes from when I got to the Crunch Fitness to sign up, get a one-time pass or whatever, finish my lift and leave. And I knew this was probably going to be the only lift I had this week. So I ran in quick. I worked up to 500 for squat, did a double. Like, maybe that took 7 minutes. Then I did snatches up to like 225, I think, or something. I did hang snatches. I did a double. And then I was breathing, out of breath. I just walked over to the bench, worked up to 400, did a double, and then I pieced. But, like, there's something to be said about having these crazy fast, like, I felt awesome. Like, I had a whole body pump, and I think maybe it's just because I'm so out of shape, being 315 pounds, that walking that much throughout the gym so quickly.
I want to know what everyone else was thinking in the gym when you were doing that. Yeah. It's like, who is this random guy who just comes in here and just acts like an animal?
Dude, yeah, seriously, like, but people were definitely like watching me, and like, I'm too scared to ask him what he's trying to do. I've never seen anyone lift like this before.
If only you could go back and be like, hey guys, I have the best throw in the world right now in the discus. They'd be like, oh, it makes sense.
Dude, seriously. Oh, shit. That just sounds fucking crazy still. It doesn't even sound real. That's weird.
Yeah, that's awesome. Trevor, you got anything else?
I just wanted to ask, what's next? Like, what fixes are you making next? Like, where are you going from here?
Man, well, I'm trying to go to some Diamond League meets. That would be awesome.
Yeah, let's do a little quick. I want to say, like, that's one thing real quickly that irks me is, like, you've got the #1 throw in the world, and it's a pain for you to get into a Diamond League comp. And on top of that, it's like you've competed well in the past at a Diamond League meet. You're a world finalist. You've got the #1 throw in the world, and they still, it's like, because you're not in the good old boys club, they don't want to bring you in. I don't know.
Yeah, it can definitely feel like that sometimes. I also, like, it's tough to get in for a reason. Like, there's 8 spots, right, for every meet. And right now I'm ranked 10th. I think I'm ranked 10th. So, like, even though I got 8th at Worlds, I thought that would be a little bit better for getting into Diamond Leagues early. But, I mean, there's a lot of good people, and there's a lot of meets to medal at, like European meets, European championships, Commonwealth, like Worlds, obviously, and Olympics. When you add that all together, there's probably like 8 medalists. So it's going to be primarily people who have won a medal in the past 4 years who are getting in. And then, like, we're all fighting for scraps after that.
Yeah, that's true. That's a better way to look at it than the way that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, I also, dude, I totally agree with you. Part of me is like, fuck that. Let me in. I'll do some work. I'll because one throw in a Diamond League meet could change your life. You throw 68. And that's the thing. I really, truly think I could repeat this with, like, yes, I had great conditions, but man, I think I'm finishing better than I ever have, and I can put out some big throws. I don't know if it's 70 in a stadium. Well, but maybe it's 68, which is a fucking bomb.
Yeah. I think going off of what Trevor asked, it's like, I mean, you sort of mentioned this to me today in a text. You're like, you haven't really even been training that long with the 2.5. especially like with the technique being instilled with your movement pattern. So like that's, I would assume that's like first line of order is like, you know, you throw the 2.5 a little bit more. You were just traveling and, you know, away from a training situation. So now you get more reps in the circle, and this could be replicated in Tucson. This could be replicated in a stadium. It might not be as far because the conditions might be not be as good, but it also might be.
Yeah. You never know, dude. You never know. Like Eugene had incredible wind last year. I would have thrown it with that same throw in the stadium in Eugene. I think it would have been an absolute bomb. So I mean, you never know. You never know.
So when's your next training session then?
That is going to be tonight after work. I am throwing. Finally, I'm practicing. I'm going to throw a shit ton of 2.5s, 2.5 nons.
Do you think you're going to feel tired?
Yeah, I think I am. I still feel like just mentally exhausted from everything, and obviously I wanted to take some of the night shifts last night so I could see Alecki. So
Yeah,
that's cool. But I don't know, dude. If I can just not get sleep and still perform well, I think the season's going to be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. All right, Alex, thanks for joining us on
thanks,
the
man.
Throw Show. We're going to put this together, and hopefully everybody enjoys your sharing of the great experience of being the 24th ranked thrower in the history of the sport.
Damn, that is so crazy. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, peace.
See you guys
Later.
Peace.
All right, so you heard it from Alex Rose, the #1 discus thrower in the entire world, live on the Throw Show.
That's right.
So head over to throwsuniversity.com if you guys need help with any training, any programming, any technical analysis. Until next time, peace.